Hello everyone, my name is Theo Tasso, and today I'm going to be talking about a story about a guy that thought he was way more powerful and more successful than people around him. So I'm also going to be talking about the three main points of the story, which is the origin of the story, the summary, and what we could learn from it. And another thing I want to bring up is a quote that really resonates with this myth, which is greed makes men blind and foolish, and it makes them an easy prey for death, said by Rumi. So, continuing with my three main points, the origin of the story. This story takes place in Greece and is also considered a Greek mythology. Going to the second point, the summary. This story takes place in the forest in Greece with the gathering of a lot of people with the intention of praising the goddess Demeter. And out of nowhere, this guy named Erethixin walks in with an axe, wanting to bring all the trees down. Being really mad, the goddess Demeter tells him, "If you do anything to my trees, I will have to punish you for the rest of my life." Um, so without any hesitations and any thoughts about the consequences, Erethixin starts bringing everything down for his own benefit of building his own palace in that place. Um, while going home, he starts feeling really weird and he starts feeling really hungry and he couldn't do anything about it. So what he does is he sits in his table and orders his workers to bring him food, all the food they can find in his house. He eats for hours non-stop, turkey, chicken, anything that you can think about. And this goes on for days. Since he's like really rich, he has a lot of money, so he can just go and he has a lot of food stored in his house. But money is not infinite. There was a point where he ran out of money and there was nothing he could do. He ran out of food, but his greed of food was still there. He still really wanted food. He still craved really a lot of food. So what he decided to do was to sell his daughter as a slave for a random person so he could get a little money back. So with the money that he got, he was able to buy more food and keep his addiction, fed. So for days, that's what he did. He just kept eating and eating until his daughter felt really sad and decided to pray for the god Poseidon for her to be able to escape from her owners. So what Poseidon does is turn her into a donkey so she could run away. Without any hesitations, she decides to go back to her house and help her dad. But instead, her dad decides to sell her again, this time in the form of a donkey. So what he does with the money, he decides to eat again and eat and eat. And again, Poseidon feels bad for the daughter and decides to turn her into a butterfly so she can fly away from her previous owner and her dad. Now with no escape, Erethixin is just alone in a cave looking for food desperately to keep his addiction fed with food. And with nothing to do, he decides to just eat himself because his hunger is so big that he has no other option. But by doing that, he is basically killing himself by eating his parts, by eating his arms and his body. And going to the third part that I wanted to talk about in this video is the lesson learned. And in my opinion, the lesson that I learned from this story is just not to be greedy and to always know your boundaries and never place yourself above anyone. So yeah, my name is Theo Tasso, and today I talked about the story of Erethixin, a guy that thought he was way more powerful than everyone else and more successful than everyone else. And I also talked about the three main points of the story, which is the origin, the summary, and what we could take from it. And thank you so much for listening, and have a good day.